All right. Okay. Yeah, I forgot what we're doing here. Oh, that's right. We did some logging and
Yeah, we need to discuss that. So, ooh, I got something on. It's not that one.
okay.
Must be this one. It is. There we go. And then I found another tractor, and it should operate the bigger mowers.
Okay.
And but it kind of fits this farm. It's not as retro as what we were going, but it's so we should be able to handle the grass. We'll have to upgrade the forage wagons. Let me look at that real quick.
Okay.
Because I'm not so worried about the mowers, but so we can keep all the ground that we got, and just buy the new tractors when we need them and stuff, or we can sell the new ground that we got and just keep going as we were going.
Well, we could.
I think though, like, I guess my opinion is looking at things. I think if we advance time, if we do have to mow again this year, I say let's try the new. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe kind of keeping things the way they are. We can always downsize later if we have to.
Yeah, if we're getting bigger mowers, let's keep the ground. I was gonna say if we, if we yeah, then we can always sell some land, downsize, and uh, then get to the grapes or olives or something. We could.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go to sleep then, and we'll see.
Okay. Drive this back. Okay. I actually have your stream up too, so I can I can see what you're doing. I didn't have it up last time.
Oh yeah.
All right. Welcome to the chat. Anybody out there? We're getting them trees out of the way.
We got a couple.
Better.
We got a couple months before we have to sell the silage. So
Okay.
So look like now.
Because we should have quite a bit silage.
Yeah,
Storage.
I think we have we have over 1 million. Let me look. It was like,
Let's
yeah,
see.
it was just over 1 million.
Oh, we got
It looks like, I mean, we could maybe do grass again, but I think it's close enough and everything. I think we just wait and do it again
it.
next year. We'll
Yeah.
we'll
Well, we got to
just
haul
truck
it.
silage.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Then we got to
truck what
haul it
we
to
got.
town. Or,
But we gotta wait till it's, I believe, January before we do that. So let me check. Yeah, it's January. Um, I guess what I guess we'll see how much money we make, because we might actually have enough that we can start doing grapes. Because the harvester is what I was most worried about, but
yeah.
um
Well, we can do another round of grass and.
well, let's see what happens when we get this stuff sold, or how much ever we have to sell, because we may not have $1 million worth, or I mean 1 million liters worth.
Yeah.
We'll have to look, but this should be the month. Yep, January. All right.
Oh, it's snowing. That looks familiar. I guess it didn't text you any pictures. You...
Oh, I saw the one on Katie's Facebook.
Oh, okay. Did
She posted a picture of the backyard.
okay. Oop.
But don't have the brakes.
Gotta get.
Well, about half of it turned. So we'll have 500,000 liters. So however much that will.
I guess we'll see. Any of your other streamers go for purchase expedition yet? I mean the like your streamer friends, not.
The only other one that I think is kind of interested, like I am, is is not is average, but he's actually, I think, more interested in a mining game called Out of Ore, and it's only like $16. It looks kind of like a mining version of Farm Sim, but I don't know. It looks all right for $16. I'm thinking about getting it too, but I added both games to my wish list. I guess I was gonna talk to you about that. I thought that would probably be a good topic to talk tonight, because like
Well,
I thought coming to this weekend that I was probably gonna get the Expedition Mud Runner,
whoa, oh, that's right.
and then I got to last night and started looking, and I'm like I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to, because I guess it's one of those things. It's like ATS. I I like ATS. I play and I stream ATS, but I only play when I play ATS. It's only when I stream, and I think this is going to be the same thing. I think
Yeah,
it's just going to be something that I stream, and it's not something that I play during the week.
right.
And not that but I don't know. I was just thinking about the $40, and I was like, well, eventually it's gonna go on sale if I wait long enough. And I was like, I'm honestly leaning now towards maybe this is the weekend that I actually get Minecraft on the PC. Because
Um,
I'm thinking I'm gonna get a game. I just don't know what I'm gonna get,
well,
but I think
kind of speaking of that, I I I guess clued Tucker in on it. I mean, I haven't bought it yet, but um, like the goal. So it's gonna be a while before
yeah.
we'll get it and he can have it. There's some things he's got to do and be
One
consistent and all that. It's kind of a goal, a reward thing. But back to
yeah.
expeditions, like I'm not like, oh yes, yes, want to get it. But I stumbled onto, and I've heard of this channel, but I've never watched it. I heard of it through Project Farm because he was testing like recovery straps and tow ropes, basically.
Yeah.
Um, and anyhow, Matt's Off Road Recovery. Anyway, it's a channel it's a business. So like if you're, I guess think of like Mark, well, a cross between like Mark Banham and Schofield,
Hmm.
back there. And Anywho, he documents coming recovering like in these really challenging off-road places, like people who rolled their vehicles. I mean, like stock like vehicles on trails they shouldn't be on, and
You're taking silage, right? Not grass.
uh
Because the first choice is actually grass.
oh yeah, I guess I took well, I guess it's, or can I dump it back
Yeah,
in?
you can dump it back in.
Whoops, I guess you're right. I took a load. Uh,
I thought that looked awful funny, but I mean it's
okay.
fine that you took a
Whoop,
load
whoop,
in,
whoop,
but
whoop.
um, but yeah, it should be brown like this, not green
Okay.
like that.
uh, well, I didn't even think about it because it's like, oh, grass. But then it's like, oh yeah, it should be
Well,
silage. It
I
should be.
didn't either, and then I was like, the first time around, I was like, that looks awful
well,
funny
I,
for
I
silage.
well,
And I didn't
I
think
read I
anything of it, and then it finally clicked with me. It's like, well, my first choice with grass. I'm like, I bet he didn't switch over.
well, the thing is like I did think about it because it's like, it's like, oh, and then I thought, oh yeah, grass because that's what we mowed. Because I was like, I screwed that up that one time where it's like we needed to plant wheat and I put, I don't know what in, barley or something else, not what we were supposed to do. Anyway, back for that. I watched a couple of videos. I mean, kind of scrubbed through them. I mean, they're not something I'd watch all the way through, but just mostly the recovery parts. And anyhow, he's got this off-road tow truck, well, it is an off-road tow truck. So and then it got me but that's what got me thinking about the game, and it's like, oh well, that's be kind of like playing that in a way, that kind of,
Yeah.
so
Well, yes and no. I mean, I think there's a little bit of that. Because
well,
they kind of show a
not the
preview of
recovery,
that.
but see what.
Yeah, well, I mean, but there is that in there because like they show in the thing they show the jeeps being pulled up the side of a cliff and stuff.
But just the off-roading like that, because in real life I don't have a big desire to do challenging trails in my pickup and stuff. Like I like light off-roading, like,
I'm coming down the road just so
yeah, I
you
see
know.
you. um but uh but anyways, because they have to show getting in there, and the getting in there was kind of neat, and I was like, oh well, this would be. I thought I slowed her down. uh I thought, oh, that's kind of, in a way, part of the game, or part of how the game would be.
Mm.
So, and I got to thinking of, yeah, like the $40, and then, oh, okay, so like the Colorado map, or uh is a couple bucks or whatever. I guess I kind of thought the three maps I saw on review, a pre-release review. I thought those were part of the base game, but maybe like
And
Colorado
that's one of the
wasn't.
things. One of the things I was going to bring up tonight was like I thought so too,
I mean,
and then
not
I
like
didn't
that's a
think
deal
about.
breaker, but you know,
I didn't think about it. Well, and I the Colorado one is like $3,
yeah,
which is not a big deal. I think I would probably do that. But that was one of the things that got me to thinking about it was like all the stuff that I saw these guys playing. Well, so there's this thing called a season pass. And basically, I think it basically gives you all the DLCs if you buy into it.
yeah,
Well, so some of these cars and stuff that I saw them using and stuff, they had them on the season. They they're all separate DLCs, or you can get them on the season pass and everything. And I was just like, well, if I'm gonna, I think it'll be like ATS then, because it's like I'm gonna pick and choose what I want. Because there was a like some of the vehicles that they have out now, it's like, man, if that came in base game, okay, no problem. But looking at it like, oh, that's an extra DLC. I don't think I'm gonna spend because I think the one car was like $13 just to buy it, and it's
no.
like that's not to me. That's not worth it.
Well, that
So that's part of what kind of turned me off all of a sudden too. Is like that, and then I was like, I think I really need to think about how I want to go about the game. You know?
right. Well, and that's, I mean, it's like not a deal breaker, but that's what's got me thinking about because I was like, well, I was kind of like, well, $40. It's like not that I would just blow that, but it's not a lot, not a big deal. But then it's kind of like, well, I could buy some, I got these other projects and things. Whoa. Uh, and it's like, well, $40 would go to these other projects versus video game, I guess, is where my mind is. It's like, I'm going to spend the
Yeah.
$40, okay, but it's just, is it going to be on a video game or is it going to be going towards another project? Or again, I still got my eye on uh, that RC car, the RC
Yeah.
truck, and I'm like, well, that would go to that kind of thing, and that's like, well, I got a little YouTube money, and well, and speaking of you, you're gonna maybe tip the scale there a little bit on your Twitch. It's like,
Yeah.
well, there's a game, but would this be the one to spend it on? Well, maybe, for you, maybe it's sounding like maybe not, you should spend it on Minecraft or something like
I think that would be a better choice because like Minecraft, I'm willing to like play off stream or
that.
whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, and like you
And
say,
I guess
it'll come down in
I guess
price
that's
too, maybe.
yeah. And it's like yeah, I want to play the game eventually, but because I think um it looks. I don't know for sure. Well, I do. It's because like Mud Runner, the original game, felt so frustrating because I did try it. Felt so frustrating because you're in the mud constantly, and I don't like being in the mud.
It's funny
You
you
know,
say
like
that because I,
even in real life, like if this whole road that we're on was nothing but mud from Sail Point to Silage, I'd just be miserable.
yeah,
I don't mind mud puddles, but I don't want to be going through it like miles and miles of it.
yeah. Well, that sort of, well, that entered my mind too because a little bit like with the whole Mud Runner is I watched, and I think that might have been way back on Mixer, so that shows you how long ago. But I
Yeah,
caught, and I don't think it was like sugar diabetes or whatever. I remember it was uh, a a female streamer, like it was like like it might have been a deal where like you signed off and this was like what was next up or something, and I
Uh-huh.
saw it and I was like, oh, this is that Mud Runner game or whatever you were talking about. Because
Hmm.
I remember we were talking about it, and well, and like Trip was playing in the garden too, and he was driving his trucks like this through the mud, and I was like, oh, it's like that Mud Runner game. Anyway, uh, but I remember trying to watch that person play it, and I was watching, and she was getting through it, but it was just like looked tedious as all hell,
Yeah,
and that's a thing where this doesn't look okay maybe as tedious, but
exactly.
but then I'm also like, well, I don't know, I not that I have a hard time with these controls, but it's kind of like I gotta, I'm still not like, oh, I gotta how to move my fingers and stuff, and it's like, oh, is this gonna be one of those? It's like, oh, I need to air down my tires. What is that again? Down in A or something,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
that kind of crap.
Maybe
So
maybe something where you actually have to go through and you have to
do the
map the controller to whatever you
right. Yeah,
would
so I'm gonna
like.
have to spend some time like offline, just kind of getting used to it, and that
Yeah,
and that was also the other thing. It's like, well, I kind of figured without you telling me your thoughts on it, I was like, well, Chris is probably gonna well not only wait till it gets cheaper, but also wait till it's been out. Well, and that's the other thing, co-op part. We can't even play it together yet.
no.
So,
Well,
but I'm kind of like,
like that wasn't a determining factor because I know it's coming up, but I'm also like, I guess part of this whole new game thing that I'm looking at is because I was like, um, I like the map I'm on that I'm playing on the weekends, but at times it's a little bit, um, I get a little bit too like not overwhelmed or anything, more like I'm getting kind of tired of it and I need something else to do, but I want to keep on streaming it. And but you know, uh, well, I gave up Fortnite this last season or this season because I wanted to work on stuff. I wanted to work on other stuff. And I just felt Fortnite was taking up too much time.
yeah.
Um, well,
Well, I guess I
I
was thinking it's
I
like, well, I kind of figured without you telling me, I kind of figured what your initial attitude would be. So, but I was like, well, but again, I kind of go around. I'm kind of going round and round. It's like, well, do I buy it kind of as an impulse, buy a little bit and get myself familiar, and then when you get it, and well, and the co-op for one thing comes out, then you
mm,
eventually get it. It goes on sale. I'll like know how to sort of play and not be such a maybe a hindrance. I don't know if that would be a
yeah.
problem with a game like that, um, but then it's kind of like,
I don't know. I guess I'm kind of leaning towards. Um, I don't know when I'll get it. Probably still plan on getting it because it looks fun to me. Um, looks like I'm interested in it, but I'm like, just at the moment, I'm kind of thinking, oh, I'll get it later.
yeah. Well, and that's kind of the thing here because I got to thinking, okay, well, if I go down that path and I get it, basically I get it first to kind of get my feet wet and understand it, play maybe a little bit of the normal campaign, whatever that is. But I
That's
was
one of
like,
the
well,
things
when am I
they are
gonna?
good
I was like,
about.
when am I gonna do it? Other than some other random night of the week, and just stream by myself or whatever. Um, I mean, not that we couldn't do Discord together, we just couldn't play together. But
Yeah,
I was like, well, I just stream by myself. And it's like, well, I would have to definitely allocate a night or time, and which is not a huge thing, but I'm just like, would I allocate time to stream and play it, get stream myself getting familiar with it, I guess. Or even if
yeah.
I don't stream, just would I sit down for an hour and kind of figure that out I don't know. I kind of wish there was sort of like back in the day, sort of a shareware or demo version, and maybe there is, and I haven't looked, but it's like to just see if it's a type of thing.
Kind of anymore, you'd have to, and that's a possibility too. Kind of anymore, you need to have like, sometimes they put them on Game Pass
Well,
for
that's what I
like
mean.
Microsoft or
It's a
something.
subscription deal, but see, I don't want to do a
Yeah,
subscription. I just want to.
the thing is like, so say it does come out on that, you pay the subscription for 1 month just to try the game out, and maybe there's other games on there you want to try, but then you just cancel it at the end of the month, and
Well, I
it's still like it'll should still be cheaper than buying the game.
I guess it's again, it's not all about the money. It's like I more just would like to with that very little hassle. Again, a small download, just intro part of the game. I mean, first like a first stage, like
Mm.
uh, I don't know how they do it these days, but kind of like the shareware versions of stuff, like I'm trying to think of something popular PC back in the day, but like back in the DOS days, say like Duke Nukem or something, that like the shareware version would be like only the first two levels or something like that. Well, okay, this would be like the first about hours worth of whatever you can do in there, or like again like first two missions or something of the base campaign or whatever or something. Who knows? Like the again, it's kind of like I'm just so new to PC gaming in general. I need to be able to. Well, I don't need to, but I mean, it would be nice to just like a preview, give you a taste, get you hooked, and then it's like, oh, okay, you know, kind of like trial versions of software back in the day. They gave you 7 days to mess with it or whatever kind of deal. Say
Yeah,
I don't know how you'd time it out in a game. Even like if you're going to preview a game like this, would it be maybe in-game time or something, in-game timer? So and then it shuts you off. That would be I would be satisfied with that to just see. But I know that's not how the game industry works anymore, nor they don't make money that way.
yeah. One of the things I was gonna tell you though is like, um, as far as getting familiar with it, so they have like the couple of maps that come with it, but they also have. Well, I mean, Farm Sim does too. It has tutorials, but this one actually has, at least the one I tried on Mudrunner was a little bit more pronounced that this was a tutorial, and they actually so they walk you through but that's you know part of like that's I tried to that's I was trying the tutorial on Mudrunner, and I could do like I did the first one and everything, and then I was like, okay, well, this game just kind of frustrates me.
Well, and that's the thing. I'd only need probably 30 minutes of like a timed in-game timer, 30 minutes of messing around to probably see if it's something I'd care to mess with. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, I think about it, it's like, well, okay, $40. It's like, all right, if I don't play it that much, I mean, I've blown $40 on lesser things before and been
Yeah,
disappointed, non-video game related, you know. So I don't, or I've blown $10 on things and been remorseful. I I don't think I would be with something like this.
yeah,
Because again, actually, I don't play this game outside of our streaming,
yeah.
other than, and it's Tucker messes around on it, and I mean, I did at the beginning, kind of, but I was kind of like, um, and I, I could have fun at it. I just don't have that kind of time. It doesn't feel productive. Like, I mean, this is relaxing. It feels a little bit It does feel productive, you know, mainly I guess because we get to talk, we get to catch up on stuff. Um,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know, it's the mark here. But
It I think these trucks keep flipping where the point is, where the dump
well,
point is.
yeah.
Because it keeps setting mine for back, and then it keeps flipping to
Well, that's
the
exactly what happened
sides.
here. Is yeah, but um, but yeah, I guess it was kind of like I. But then again, like with this game, definitely as much as we've played and Tucker's enjoyed it and whatnot, even if I've never really completed a scenario or whatever, um, I feel like I've got my whatever I see. This thing I don't even really remember what I paid for it. I I paid probably near full price. I think maybe it was on sale, but you know. But I feel like I got my money's worth. So I see that's the thing. I probably wouldn't feel that about the other game either. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I watched about two like reviews of it, and I didn't see a lot of what's in the game other than there was. I think
That's
they
the
said
thing
like
is like
they highlighted three maps, and one of them was the Colorado map, which again led me to believe it was in there from the base game.
mhm.
But and then there was, I don't know, some desert area and somewhere in
Yeah,
Europe.
there's Arizona, and then I don't remember what the other one was off the top of my head.
But it seemed varied enough, and I guess the only thing is like in the campaign or whatever. Some one thing was a one reviewer said kind of, I don't know if they like said kind of a frustration was like when you had to map like the whole map, like look at the whole map, like they thought they did it, and then they had to basically go over the whole map again to find this one spot they didn't look for, or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like the little findables, kind of like the little Easter egg things that are in this game, that I've casually found. I don't go hunting for them, but find the little toy tractors or whatever. It's kind of neat.
Hmm.
Tucker's found a lot of them just because he goes screwing around everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but so there's little I guess collectible. So there's little things like that in the game. It's like that keep it interesting enough. Um, but yeah, I'm not in a rush to
No, and
do
you
it.
know, um, that's the thing is like everybody that I've seen stream it so far, they're all kind of not. I won't say stuck, but they're all kind of on the same part of the game. So it's like I haven't really been able to tell much because they've all been working on like the Colorado map and haven't really been. They've been doing all the same kind of missions because the game's so new that they haven't gotten anywhere yet.
Yeah. Well, and that's
And it's like that'll help as some of the streamers work on it and get further in. It's like, oh well, okay, so that's what's going on. Or
yeah. I guess the other thing is, and I assume it is, but it is. It does have some sandbox to it. I guess, hopefully.
Well, it is another it's a sandbox like this. The only thing is like I don't know kind of the commercial that I saw for it. So basically, you explore the map, you go around and soil sample different spots on the map, and then uh, some about like you have to hire these different people. They have different kind of jobs, and they're
Yeah,
supposed to help you do things in the map. And um,
I heard, or a reviewer talked about.
but then I saw I did see that was something different. I did see one guy playing it this last week where he was driving around the map with the truck with a flatbed and was able to collect items that were randomly throughout the map, except for he got to the point where he actually needed to go back to his base because he had too many
Kind
and he
of
needed
unloading
to
them.
empty those so he could collect more. So I guess like you were saying, there's collectibles and stuff. There is kind of that stuff in the map too, and then it talked about you're supposed to be kind of like this game with the garages and stuff. You're supposed to be able to customize your base, so to speak,
Yeah,
that you have.
yeah.
And I guess my thing is like um I'm just I need I need more options than what I've got currently to do. And um I am thinking about getting a game, but I don't know, for some reason something clicked tonight where it's like I think I'm gonna get Minecraft finally on the PC and then I'll be able to stream it. Well, I mean not that I couldn't stream it before, but um
Oh, use your
I'll be
fancy new
able to use the
computer.
PC to stream it rather than the Xbox.
Yeah, I'll use your fancy new gaming rig. I mean, it'll run differently, I'm sure. Like better, I'm guessing. Like you should
Well,
notice a difference. I mean,
when I found out tonight, or the version, and I think this is the one I sent you to. Um, it comes with um, it comes both with Java and Bedrock, which Bedrock was the one that I play on the Xbox. Um, and so it's like, well, am I going to use Java or whatever? And then I kind of found some more stuff out. I'm gonna have to research that because I might actually be interested in Java if I um learn some more about it. Because I found out like um you can kind of mod things in Java, but I don't know how to do that, obviously. So
well, I guess here's the thing: is like I won't know how to play it, so hopefully it's intuitive enough. Tucker will figure it out. Like what the hell you even do? See, I don't even think he really knows what what to do. I mean, he just knows that you got to build stuff to stay away from, like if you're playing like survival mode or whatever it is with creeper, it just, rather than just build mode. But
yeah,
hopefully
but
it's intuitive
the thing is, there's different modes. So if he keeps like if he plays with the creepers and stuff, um, he'll and he dies, or his character dies, then he'll be like, he'll either figure it out, or he'll figure out that's not the gameplay he wants to play, or
yeah.
um,
Well, but I mean that's the thing is like hopefully he'll figure out how to change those settings. I'm sure he will because it's like once I showed him where all the construction stuff, which I barely knew where it was, he figured out where to paint, how to paint the ground and do other things. So I mean he'll figure it out.
yeah.
But it's just like I'm gonna have to tell him. It says, "Well, Dad doesn't know anything about it. Like I don't, I I I know You need to mine for
Yeah, but
stuff to then you
if
can use it to
in
build.
survival, the first thing you need to do is find some trees, build a table, so that you can
Well, see, and
build a
that's the thing.
pickaxe, so that you
He
can
won't know
find coal.
that. Well, he knows it, but he won't know how to do it because
Yeah,
I mean, he knows some stuff because his two friends and they play it on the playground, whatever. So he knows you got to do certain things to do other things. I mean, we'll probably watch a couple sort of like tutorial videos or something, or I'll let him that, or hell, maybe we'll schedule it an evening like before he goes to bed. If you since you're gonna get it, uh, maybe stream a quick tutorial kind of deal.
yeah,
Like here's what you're brand new. Here's the first things you should try and do, and this is what the controls are or something. A little bit of that. Maybe we'll do something like that too. He might need
yeah.
whatever, but um,
Well, and if I did it, I could always do it as a YouTube video instead of like a Twitch video, so that if
well,
you ever needed to go back to
well,
it
that's what I
too.
mean. Yeah, just do it like on YouTube. We'll watch on YouTube, and then it's archived too. You know.
Yep.
Yeah. Um.
It probably literally the the basics of what you need to know literally probably takes 10-20 minutes, and then after that, like, because there's really, I don't know, it's kind of, to me it's kind of stressful the first time you jump in the map, because just like if you're playing with the creepers and the monsters and zombies, and it's like you've got to get this stuff done or you're gonna die, and
Yeah.
there's no the sun there's no adjusting the time, so the sun's gonna go down and the zombies are gonna pop up, so you have to get this stuff done right away. So that first day is always so stressful, because like I gotta get this done, and then once you get that stuff done and get the first few basic things done, then it's not stressful anymore, and
Yeah. Well,
you
that's the
can do
thing, and
whatever you
he might
want
he
from
kind of
there.
might enjoy, once he figures that out or understands that kind of game mode, he might enjoy that because I think like just the building. Yeah, I mean he'll I think he'll like that, but I think he might be looking for some of that. I don't know if you want to call it anxiety or the goal building of building
Yeah,
something for a purpose, possibly.
yeah,
Because I think that's a little bit with this game is like, okay, he's just putting things up, building it the way he wants. But then when he's driving around, I feel like it's like, okay, well, what do you do with all this stuff? He doesn't.
yeah. Because there's no stress with this game, other than you just need to keep your, if you're, unless you're trying to ruin your farm, you just need to keep your farm in the green.
Yeah,
And that's fairly easy to do, no matter what gameplay you're doing on it. I mean, granted, like the hard mode, it's hard, but you can still, the game's still made to be achievable.
yeah. Well, and I guess the reason why I say that is because, like, well, I guess he had a snow
This
day
might
today.
be our
He had a
last
snow day today,
layer
and they
of
lay
this.
and they legoed all day, and that's upstairs. And but he did he was playing through well, it's a game on my Pac-Man machine called Rompers. Again, I've never seen it, and I never remember it in an arcade, but it's a new. I want to say it's a late '80s, if not early '90s type arcade game, and it's a puzzle game. And
Mm-hmm.
granted, you can just being free play, you can continue and with lives. I mean, your score resets to 0, so it's not like he's logging a high score, but he can. And there's 50 levels, and it's like he's getting close to. I think he's gotten into the 30s or something, so he's getting close to being able to beat the game. and that's the thing, is it's an anxiety inducing game the way the puzzles are, because the enemies are after you, and you have to basically, it's kind of a thing where you push down walls and you can smash them, but you got to wait till they're in the right place, and then you got to pick up keys to unlock the door to go to the next stage, and then there's bonuses along the way if you do things. And he tries for that, but a lot of it is just figuring out how do you get out of it. It's a little bit like a maze in a way. It's like, how do you get out of the maze, but you have to do certain things to do it. So it's like he gets the strategy part with a game like that, and I can tell he enjoys that problem solving of it. So that's why he probably will enjoy it for that, in that respect, because that's part of what probably a lot of what survival mode is kind of a strategy of doing this then and whatever, putting your torches out in the right place or something, or
Yeah.
like I said, I know enough from, well, partly South Park, but um, casually watching some um other YouTube videos or whatever, and the memes and all that stuff.
Well, and I completely learned that game off of streaming, kind of like that's how I learned this game. Is like, um, I would I would do what I think was right, and then I would watch streams of other people doing it, and then be like, oh, well, I didn't know that the game did it that way, and so then I kind of changed my gameplay based on that. And that was the way it was with Minecraft. When I first started, it was like I died instantly because I didn't know what I was doing, and then I switched to a mode that was more peaceful until and messed around with it a little bit, and then I believe was catching some streams on what you should do, how you should play it to start out with, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, let me try that. And then I started doing that. It's like, oh, well, that's exactly what I needed to do. And then I would live past that, and then be okay. Well, now what do I do? Because there's no more in there. We're done.
Oh, well,
Um,
a little bit, something.
well, it's a production that's still
Oh, okay.
churning.
I'll wait till it. Oh, yeah,
It's not gonna ever end. It's
oh,
just gonna,
okay.
because it's an animation, so it doesn't matter if there's
Well,
one
it was
leader coming out or
adding something. Well, I'll go dump what I got. Okay. Well, because
no, just keep it in the back there. Or,
okay.
well, you mean that's
Or
um
I guess I could dump it back in. Why don't I do that?
no, it's no, don't do that. Don't
Okay.
do that. Just leave it in the truck.
Okay. Let's.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. That.
Okay. Ugh, I just had a truck drive through
Yeah.
me. Um. So we can either buy the upgraded tractors and the upgraded loaders, which would put us back about where we were before we started. Or we can I think we have enough that we could buy the grape equipment, and then
Let's upgrade.
we
I'd say let's tell you the truth. We're gonna. Because we're gonna upgrade the tractors and mowers, or just the
Well, it's
tractors.
like we're definitely gonna get rid of the mowers and the loading wagons. I don't know, kind of want to keep the tractors, but that we could always sell a couple of them and just leave one. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if
actually,
we
it's
need.
yeah. I
I
tell
don't
you
know if
what,
we need these tractors or.
it's the picking up that we need. That kind of seems like it needs to be upgraded. So maybe
Well,
that's.
and it was the mower width was the other reason. So, hey, casual, he's
Oh,
on
hey,
your
you're in my
stream.
stream. Okay, good. Yeah. Well, you must have just jumped in. Um, Probably heard us talking about other games or plans, I guess, with what we
Yeah.
might do, might buy, whatever. Um, I hate to say it, I do kind of like mowing, so I guess let's upgrade the mowing stuff, uh,
Okay. Well, we can
and
do
then
that.
get some more in there, let it ferment, then we can truck to town. I mean, I know this isn't gonna happen all in this stream, but then truck to town, and then we can start our grape uh, or grapes or olives or that sounds like a plan to me.
Okay. Let's see then. Let's get rid of these mowers.
Yeah, well, if you didn't hear the
Do you want to get
plan,
rid of the tractors? Do you want to get rid of these tractors too, or you
well,
want to keep them?
will they run what we're gonna get
No, we're
next?
gonna have to get new. We're gonna have to upgrade the tractors to
Let's
run
just
the new
upgrade them.
mowers
I
and
mean,
loaders.
I do like them, but let's upgrade since we got all. I mean, if you get uh like I said the ice cream cab like 1066s or something, that'd be.
Let's see. What am I looking for?
But anyway,
This thing.
casual. We were chatting about whatever it's called, Mud Runners Expedition or whatever, and oh, do we want to buy it? When do we want to buy
It's
it?
called
Or
it's called Expedition
is it just
Mudrunner.
okay? It's part of that series. I'm not super familiar with it. I obviously never played it. Um, it'd be a learning the controls type of deal for me. But we were kind of figuring out, you know, what we uh what we might do, sort of win maybe. Also talking Minecraft because Skull Crusher is going to think about getting it on PC, and then of course, oh, it's inevitable. It was inevitable. My son, his friends are talking about it, and they're pretending on the playground and all that, and well, it's going to be a goal kind of thing for him. There's some things he needs to do and consistently do, and all this, and then it might be a little bit of a goal, kind of a reward goal. Get to have it, play it, figure out how to learn it. But I was telling him, it says, well, Dad doesn't know how to play it, never played it. You'll have to figure it all out. We were kind of probably caught in on the tail end of that conversation, but I'm not super interested in it. But then who knows? I barely have time to play games outside of streaming Fridays, so
Ooh, do we see where the other? Did I not get one? Oh, we may not have. Let's see. No, I don't have enough.
But Expeditions does have from what I've seen, some of the gameplay has a little bit of feel of how we used to kind of do our four wheeling
Okay, you can.
back in the
I got
day.
the new tractors and the new mowers up here.
Okay.
We're gonna have to get them
Yeah. I'm.
out of the work zone. The mowers are behind you, and I bought one for Derek too.
Yeah. If you ever. Well, maybe we need to try a different night for him.
Well, but he sent us that picture in the group text, so he's been working on his.
Yeah. No, I know, and that's the thing is like, I probably should have been doing a similar thing to to, but I Fridays are relaxing night after a long week at my regular job, and then because I've been doing, you know, go to my regular job, then go over and work on my rental for another 3 4 hours, and then come home and sit and watch it, eat at like 9 o'clock at night, and then and maybe watch some YouTube or old TV show, and then just go to bed. Then do it all
Yeah.
again. Do it all again. Uh, but I don't. I mean, I have a whole lot, but I just still I got the bulk of the flooring done, but then I'm ripping up the carpet in two other rooms, and one that I ripped up, I gotta do some subfloor repair, so that kind of stopped me, and I gotta bring some other tools down and fit.
Okay, we pretty much spent everything,
Yep.
but the forage wagons are back up there, so you'll have to take your tractor back.
Yeah. I was gonna do what you're. Well, I was gonna park it under the.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some research into that Java edition of Minecraft because it comes with the Bedrock if I buy it on the PC. So like maybe I can do some stuff that I've been kind of wanting to do, but I didn't know how to do. Maybe I can do that in Java.
Well,
Oh, we
that's the thing.
got one.
Tucker, not bought. Uh, Picked out a book at the library that's like it's an unofficial guide to like Minecraft builds or something. It's really. I mean, we've been reading it at night, like before as one of the books before bed kind of thing, and it's because it's not really step by step. It's very poorly written. I mean, it was obviously kind of a almost a like a cash grab kind of thing. You could tell because like the pictures and stuff. It's like you probably could have taken a better screenshot to explain what you're doing here because it's like, oh, build a huge tree house or something. And it's like start with 3 rows of blocks like this and that, and it's like, and then it's like, oh, and if you're really fancy, get this pack, and it doesn't tell you like what I mean, it just says this pack, but it's not like how do you do that? Or I mean, it assumes you know how to do that, but it's also
Oh, does it have a picture of a bridge on the front of it?
no. But let me get out of the way. I'll hang on. I'll run and get it since we're talking about casuals watching. He knows what it is.
So this is a unofficial guide to building cool Minecraft bridges.
Well, it's not.
There's a whole series of them. The unofficial guide to building cool Minecraft farms. Building castles in Minecraft. These are all books that I found on Amazon. I just watch YouTube videos. I've never paid for any of that. But I suppose there's a way to make money.
Back here. See some of the okay. Well, okay, he's even checked out a new one. I haven't seen this one. Oh, okay. I mean, this is very basic. This is oh, it's probably not gonna find it because I gotta hold it in front of me. Minecraft mining, an unofficial kids guide. So this is kind of, I don't know. I wouldn't call it a how-to, but sort of, I guess. What is Minecraft all about? One answer is answering the game. Mining and crafting are huge parts of the game when they play. When players mine, they can look for ores or materials they can use and craft it in the crafting table. But it doesn't like say how you should. Anyway, got that. He's been reading that, but okay. This is the one. It's just my AI green screen thing. Well, of course, there's a book for everything, but it's like, everything's on the internet. But of course, he doesn't hardly know that the internet exists. I mean, he does, but he doesn't. But it's cool builds. Game Master present 50 cool projects anybody can build. Well, it's a scholastic book too. Well, you can't. But so I mean, obviously, but it's so, how to explain it, like you like I don't know if it even gives, how to play and build, but it's like it's hard to see. There's like mini builds and stuff, but it's not like easy stuff, but you'd have to like, but anyway, uh it's but just it's written not, the grammar's terrible. I guess it's just it just feels like a cash grab, but it's like,
yeah, probably it most likely is.
Yeah, it's but it's just like it. I mean, he loves it. He likes looking at the pictures and reading how, but it's kind of like you'd still have to like figure it out on your own. Like you couldn't build what they have built very exactly, I guess. But it's just hilarious because,
you should be able to build it exactly.
well, you could, but it doesn't have enough detail of like, like some of the interiors. It's like build a bedroom or build a throne for in your castle, and I mean it's kind of like do it how you want, but it's
and that's kind of how I did too, casual. I got the game and I tried something out and then I died, and then I played a little bit more peacefully until I found a streamer or a YouTuber that showed how to kind of go about survival mode. At least the first part of it, and then I started doing that, and then it's like, okay, now that I can do that, let's try something else. And I just kind of slowly expanded that way.
Well, and that's what he'll do and all that. It just again, he's well, and
There's a man, I don't know if I could find it again. I can't remember if it was, I think it was probably on YouTube. There's this thing about it's a YouTuber, or well, I don't know if he's a popular YouTuber now or whatnot. He went back and checked out, or maybe that was you that sent me that. He went back and checked out his old builds that he built as a kid, and he was like he's like kind of reminiscing about why they built things. I don't know how serious, like if he seriously did remember or whatnot. But there's like, because some of those streamers are really really good um at their at at their builds and stuff, and it was like, so it was going back and looking about how archaic his old ones looked.
well, it's been around. The game's been around for yeah, I don't know, 10 years or better,
I
or
think
more,
we I
more than
think
that.
we talked like 12. I
But
think we looked it up a while ago. It was like 12. Okay,
I
so
do,
everything is back.
I do remember,
Um,
like it was all over the internet, like some some parent, I think a dad, but mom, um, uh, as a punishment, like deleted the
oh,
kid's
I heard about that.
map that like he had, you know, hundreds of in-game hours on and stuff, and as a punishment for something, uh, yeah, deleted, this whole world or whatever that he that he built. um,
And then everybody was like, they were talking about, it was a Reddit thread, because I remember hearing about it. He deleted it, and then they brought it up on Reddit on whether he should have done it or not.
that's
And he
right.
was like,
I think I heard
and
it
he
through
was like,
kind of a YouTuber
it,
news type.
it literally was like, you know how many hours he had in there, and he was actually being creative and not destroying things and everything, and you destroyed it in like matter of seconds.
Yeah, and I
It was,
forget what. Gosh, I could probably Google it, but I forget what he did wrong, what rule or something he uh that caused that that was the punishment. And I thought,
yeah.
well, that's a little cruel. I would have just taken the PC away for a while, and you know
Yeah, I think it might have been something like he wasn't supposed to be gaming and he was gaming, and
I felt it was a little more serious than something like that, but it wasn't like
okay,
he
okay,
beat up a kid.
we can probably mow now.
Yeah, I don't think it was like he beat up a kid or something, but I think it was something like a little more serious. Actually, he got me.
No,
You got
these
got me
mowers.
curious now. Since
I thought these mowers had a work mode. Maybe they don't.
might have found the original thread. Okay, okay. Well, I guess no, it was pretty minor. Okay, here it was. Uh, let's see. He was supposed to wake up at 7 each morning, but he's been sleeping till 9 or 10. Alarm for him, but he sleeps through it. I don't wake him up because waking him up is a skill he needs to learn. I told him about 2 weeks ago that there are going to be consequences for him if he continues to sleep in every morning. because he was missing school or being late for school and all that, I guess. First, he understood. Last week, he's falling back in his habit. So I told him yesterday that this is his final warning. Today, he slept until 11. So I followed through with my warning and went on it on computer and deleted his favorite Minecraft world. Took away his. Yeah, he'd spent a whole year working on that world.
Yeah. Like I get he needed punished for what he was
Yeah, okay.
doing,
I
but
guess I thought it was a little bit more serious than just sleeping in, which again, yeah, that was like what? But yeah, yeah, that's a little extreme, say. I guess I thought it was for some disobedience or something in school. Yeah, I think it was like some kind of tech YouTuber slash newsy YouTuber. They were discussing it. Heck, it might even made kind of like news. Maybe,
well, I know it made the radio news because I
maybe
heard about
radio.
it on the
Maybe
radio.
that's it. I might have radio.
Of course, they talk about a lot of like those little Reddit threads that go viral.
Yeah, but it's hilarious. It's kind of like uh sometimes even with that, it's kind of like the radio news. It's almost like it's still almost like they pretend like YouTube and Twitch like don't exist. You know. um.
Make sure you don't go too far.
Yeah, I just realized I went a little bit over the app line. Not by
You did
much,
that
but I
last
did.
time too.
Yeah. I kept going. I was like, wait a minute, shouldn't it stop me here? And then I looked down at the mini map and I'm like, oh, went a little too far. I mean, arguably, though, for the right, quote, crime, I would say that's a creative punishment, but not not for that.
I don't know. I mean, it also, well, it shouldn't, but like, if he was creating on it, like, you gotta wonder, like, working on it for a year, what he had in it, and um, like, that's just a lot of work to lose, depending on what he was
Yeah.
working on. And then, like, the one I heard, it was like, and I agree. I didn't at the time. I wasn't thinking about it, but then like when they said it, I agree. It was like they were like, well, he was being creative. I mean, granted, I understand he was playing a game, but he was being creative. He wasn't out like causing problems or causing trouble that
Yeah.
was disrupting other people or destroying property or something.
Well, that's it. I
It's
couldn't
like,
remember the circumstances, but yeah, just he wasn't getting up in the morning. And that's sleeping in when he shouldn't have been. Yeah, I think that's a little harsh for that. I would just taking away the computer.
yeah,
No
exactly.
computer time until you can learn to get up at 7 school every day. You know, because that's probably why you're sleeping in because you're on a damn computer too much.
Well, and then after that, like then you progressively give it back. Like
Well, yeah,
if it's a console, it's like okay, well this is you get it until like 8, and then we're unplugging it, and it goes with me until tomorrow.
yeah. Well, right, yeah. I don't know. For some reason, I thought it had to have been like he was bullying or
Yeah.
yeah. Well, there's on this Minecraft deal. Uh, after I told him yesterday, kind of about it, like, hey, this is kind of a thing we're thinking about letting you do or have access to, but there's things you're gonna do and do them. You're gonna because again, he hasn't farm sim for a long time because he, either I let him go too long or whatever, but then he's kind of acts up a little bit after, and it's not like he's mad that he has to get off the game, but it's kind of like I don't know, he isn't, just a little. He's a little ramped up about it, and I think it's just all the things goes around in his mind that he could do, kind of thing. But he lost farming game privileges, for a while. But like I said, I was gonna um, give him back.
In other words, he hasn't learned the part about like, well, you can save the game, and then the next time you come back to it, you can pick up
Yeah,
where you left
well, and
off.
it's just things like, okay, it's time to wash up for dinner, and then this other stuff, and then it's like, no, I don't want to do that kind of stuff. And it seems more pronounced after doing the game, so it's like, okay, well, if you're gonna act like that after I let you have treat, you're just kind of deal.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a little more complicated than that, but like this, like, well, you're gonna have to do this and consistently, do chores and stuff. Well, gosh, he was cleaning the bathroom and putting dishes away, all that. And then here's the thing: he's like, "Are you gonna do chores at?" Because he knows that we do our other chores after they go to bed, like finish cleaning up the kitchen and stuff. I'm usually doing that while we're getting them down for bed and all that. And he's like,
Hmm.
he's like, kind of like, don't do too many of them. Save some for me, kind of like, because he wants this so bad. Yeah, he was like, "Are there going to be chores tomorrow?" And I was like, "Yes, there's always things." Because we got, chickens, we got first breakfast dishes and stuff, and then just we need to, and just because there's so much snow on the ground, we're not going to be able to pull lot outside. I mean, they'll snow, and they did today, um, hours, but um, we'll probably won't go out and about. Don't really need to, so we'll probably house chores. Garage needs tidied up again after I did some projects and we things out there. He doing his paper paper Minecraft. He was cutting squares out and gluing them to paper, like building. I mean, that's how bad this is. That's why I don't know. I don't know if, if what I'm getting myself into, but
Yeah.
he. I mean, he's maturing more with it, but it's like, I'm stressing. It's like, you know, acting up. You're acting up at school, acting up around here. You're just not going to get to do it. And we're definitely putting a timer on it. And that might be the thing with the farm simulator. Sometimes I'd let him go for like 3 hours, and it's like that's probably too much dopamine. That might be it. So I don't know. I haven't thought of the what a good time limit be, but thinking probably no more than about 2 hours because it'll be more of a weekend.
Yeah.
But then think got spring break here. I mean, we're not gonna get it this soon, but that's the thing. Like even with other my arcade games up there, I pretty much told him, he can pretty much kind of play those whenever he wants because they're short. I mean, um, like I said, he played them today, but that's probably the first time he's played them in months. And that was kind of like how when Cody used to play it when we'd get out the Atari and stuff. They play it a lot for like a week, you know, and then put it away, and it'd be months before we get it out again.
Well, yeah, that's the same with our Atari too. Was we got it out twice a year, and we played it for like a week, hooked it up for a week and or a weekend, and then put it away, and you didn't see it for another 6 months.
I actually play a little bit of Nintendo, regular Mario Brothers, and Dr. Mario. Oh, and played some Excite Bike. He hadn't played Excite Bike before.
Oh,
So yeah,
how do you like
eh,
that?
I mean, he liked it, but he's like, you could tell like this game was hard. Like Mario, he can get okay. I mean, does okay with it, but I think he has fun with it. But Excite Bike can kind of be brutal.
Yeah,
But I hadn't I hadn't played the let's see, like I hadn't played the Nintendo in months, so um
I can't remember when I got. I don't remember the age when I got Excite Bike, but I can remember being brutal, but I can also remember being brutally fun. And like
well,
I
it
can
was
remember
fun,
building.
the track
Uh,
designer,
uh,
all that. But I mean, just
yeah, and I would make the track so impossibly hard,
yeah,
and then that was fun making people try to do the impossible tracks.
yeah. But so we'll see how when we get Minecraft how this kind of goes.
Yeah,
But it's definitely not gonna be a during the week kind of.
yeah,
Well, that's the thing. He's been wanting to do kind of like a play date or go over to his house, who lives within walking distance, because he's got the game. I don't know if it's on PC. It's probably on an X, but
yeah,
I'm guessing it's probably con, but doesn't matter. But and Katie's kind of like, well, I can't watch. I was like, I says it's fine. I says that's how I got to play a lot of video games because we didn't have anything else but that. Like, and his parents are pretty cool. I mean, his dad rides rides dirt bikes used to. I mean, we and one of the birthday parties they both got invited to. We sat there and just talked about the good old days. He's about our age, just a tad younger, but
yeah.
anyway, uh, a lot in common and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's not like they're letting him play any rated M for mature. Not playing
Yeah.
GTA 5. I know that. I can tell you that fact. But I guess, as he gets older and stuff, he's going to go. I mean, it's what we did. I mean, it's just going to happen.
Well, he'll probably be as far as gamers go. He'll be like one of the cool kids because he'll be on a PC.
Yeah. Well,
Whereas
that's
everybody else's console.
yeah, probably. But I don't know, it's like well, think I guess we kind of talked about this, but like my coworker, like plays The Sims and stuff, and it's like she's got a PC. And it's like, and she's definitely not like, she's like your level in knowledge of PCs, but
Mhm.
like, as far as not, she's not building them, or not going to build it
Yeah.
or whatever. But for that game, I don't think you need a real ball and system to really play it very well. But um, but I mean, she's got a decent or enough decently, probably a decently spec thing. It isn't just some. Well, it could be a pre-built, but I mean, it isn't like a Dell or something. But also, I think she's got brothers or something that kind of a little bit too that might, because again, we talked about Twitch and stuff and all that, and yeah, my brother's saying I should be on Twitch, And I says, well, I says, yeah, you could probably make it, just only for one reason only, is you're female, you know.
Yeah.
I said, if you had the, I says you wouldn't even have to have a face cam, and you'd be able to do it or make it or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's her relaxing thing.
I just watched. Speaking of The Sims, I just watched. Well, it'd be Lady Sharky. YouTube video on. Just watched the first one. I think she has a few of them out now, but I was like, I've never seen the modern day Sims how you do it or anything, so it was.
Yeah, and my only exposure to it is, like I said, I watch LGR, a Lazy Game Review. I mean, that's kind of how he built his channel. It's on the earlier Sims stuff, like Sims 3 or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
and then reviewing that stuff, and then and then he started doing the old tech and whatnot.
Ooh, I
So
found a stump.
and and like I said, it's his reviews on Sims content can be kind of hilarious. He doesn't like let's play it. It's kind of like the guy who, and again, that's an old game, but the roller coaster tycoons games. Guy like basically can break the game or knows the game so well, break it.
Yeah.
Like, can I beat this scenario only using 4 tiles? Or can I beat this scenario with only using the a bathroom or whatever with like no cheats, you know? And it's like you got to do this convoluted thing of how you hire and then fire people at the right time, and then you know uh and then demolish things at the right time, and kind of, it's almost like speed running a sim game in a way. So like he figures out how to exploit the code. It's like, oh, if you just literally build this one track piece, the game thinks you have a full ride, and it'll give you this much park value, or it'll attract this many people or whatever, depending on what thing is. So
Yeah.
it kind of like being able to, well, in the little ways, it's like that. Probably hadn't talked about it. Biffing Britta, how to not
It's
beat Farm
actually
Sim, but
coming up.
how to like beat Farm Sim without farming. Uh,
It's actually coming up on my list of things to
okay,
watch.
but
Like here pretty soon, I will, because I'm so far behind. Trying to catch up. Because I only usually only watch that stuff over my lunch break at work,
see, we watch
and
a lot.
sometimes I just
See, we
have
watch
it.
a lot at night. Several. I mean, depend on how
Yeah.
there, and that's where we watch mainstream, a little more mainstream YouTube. But like Katie, kind of enjoy big stuff just because, yeah, well, aged girlfriends say now she's she's pretty feral, as in kind of hillbilly,
Hmm.
and plays a good. It's a good character. It's not. She's nothing like any of. I mean, he's nothing like any of us. But it's like he would have fit in with our group. That makes
Hmm.
sense. I think almost like if like Zach Presser, in a way. That's kind of that's kind of the level. But again, their videos gotta kind of, and there's
Yeah, there's like I don't watch every one of theirs, but
well, I don't
um
either. It
I'm
has
kind
to
of
be an
picky and
interesting.
choosy on which ones of theirs I watch, you know.
It has to be
Uh,
an
I
interesting vehicle or
well, exactly, because there's some of theirs that's just like, well, that's I don't know, that's a car that I'm not interested in watching them try and revive or.
yeah. They've done a few kind of roadkill style uh videos where they go somewhere and buy something, drive it back. I mean, one back month now was a, I believe it was about a Chevy Caprice, had the 6 cylinder in it, but like an
Mm.
'85 Caprice for, I don't know, $800 or something. I forget why they were also driving another one back too. It was in shape, but this Caprice like leaked and burned oil. I mean, they got to a point where they were, well, where the blow by from the rings was blowing the oil out the breather, and then it was burning it too. They were it got to the point it and that like they were doing like an 800-mile trip or something too, uh,
Mhm.
multi-day deal, and it got where towards the end there it was like it was using, they were running out of oil. They thought they kept buying more when they get to a town. It was like they were putting in like quart or two every like 20 miles. It was blowing it out so bad. And it had no, it couldn't hardly pull any hills when they got closer and closer to home where they had some of the, like the rolling hills like we got stuff. It would
Yeah.
it almost wouldn't make it up the hills because, well, the transmission was, again, I'm not really sure why they, but anyway. So that was kind of, but then we watch other uh what you want to call it. Like, they're not video essays, but they're kind of like that. But then there's like this one guy, video's old now, but it's like he went to every rainforest cafe and did it as like a road, and that's
Hmm.
and then he went to every Margaritaville phase, restaurant. There's like 25 or 30 of them around the country or something like that. But it like took them a month to do it, and it was like 3,500 miles.
Jeez.
And like some of them, like down in Florida, there were so many close together. They ate 3 meals a day at them because that was their whole deal, is to go to every one and then try everything on the menu. And they would kind of rate them and note it, yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of a road trip video crossed with a kind of a travel log, kind of a review. Yeah, it was pretty entertaining. But I mean, these two guys, it's like they're in their post kind of. It wouldn't be a video you just think you'd come across, but came up in my recommendeds, because I sometimes watch some of the like other YouTuber that, again, they're these younger than us, you like 20, but they're like reminiscing about the late 90s or thousands. Like there was this one guy that was like, if you want to call it reviewing or revisiting, like Pimp My Ride, and it's like the title of the video is "Pimp My Ride is worse than I remember," kind of thing, and or like House Hunters or something like that, or some of these other MTV shows or History Channel, just some of the shows we used to watch too, and they do they're doing a commentary,
Yeah.
and stuff, and it's kind of it's kind of fun, kind of reminiscent, because like specifically like some with like the Pimp My Ride deals, some of those MTV shows, it's like I can remember watching them when they were new, like in college or whatever. And I thought they were silly then too, but again, what else were you gonna watch? Oh, tube, it was cable and it.
Well, not only that, but like you couldn't just pick
Pick what you're gonna watch, yeah.
you couldn't just pick what you were gonna watch like you can now. Nothing was on demand.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, I watched a lot of shows that I wouldn't otherwise seek out because it's like, well, okay, it's this or the news, or
Yep.
something,
Yep.
kind of deal. And of course, they just comment on that, late, like early 2000 reality show stuff that still kind of getting its feet under it as far as what shows work and how to edit it, and pretty obvious, they're trying to the editing is trying to make there.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't necessarily, I mean, I remembered some of the cars, but then like some of the reactions and stuff like that, like he's commenting on, it's like, oh, these are like you can tell they had to like this in multiple takes, and it's like, okay, you get a little more excited here. And then what's funny is a recommended video was then kind of a car or an automotive YouTuber, pretty really big name, is Tavarish. Um, actually bought a couple of the Pimp My Ride cars and kind of, I don't know if you want to call it restore them, but just showed that some of the, on some of them, just some of the rushed and shoddy quality of them, because it was all for the,
Yeah.
like, it's like, yeah, some of that stuff, it's like like it was in there, but it didn't technically work the way they just showed it, like they put a microwave or something in there. It's like literally under the seat there's just an inverter, and it was just the wires just everywhere, and they didn't fix like the engine and stuff, like they didn't do any real upgrades, like reliability upgrade.
Yeah.
So, kind of got me into a rabbit hole of some of like his kind of videos where they're kind of like extreme makeover for cars, kind of a little bit. Again,
Mhm.
like the Junkyard Dig deal, like oh, after well, his is more like how much am I gonna have to spend to make this perfect weird car or whatever. Car always has some sort of story.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back to some of yeah, was that one we watched together, like nerds dating hot girls or something, or something. Kind of like The Bachelor. Like I forget. I
I don't
swear me and you watched.
remember that.
I think it was.
I don't remember anything of that.
I remember watching a lot of Howard Stern's after we got done at the gym or
See, and
something.
I don't. I think we occasionally would have it on, but like what I remember watching after the gym was Monster House and Monster
Oh,
Garage.
oh yeah, we'd watch that stuff. Yeah, yeah, that too. Like we
And
wouldn't
then
set
like
our clock to
if we
the
did have
Howard
it on the
Stern.
TV, it was like um Road Rules or the other one,
Yeah, real
not
world.
Road World. I don't remember catching much else.
Yeah, Monster House or Monster Garage. I do remember watching that.
I can remember. So when we first started watching that show, it's kind of like, well, that looks kind of cool and everything. And then I don't know if the way they just finally had to start outdoing themselves or whatever, because I remember at some point being like, that looks so staged or so crappy, or why would you do that? Or I can't remember. Something kind of flipped in there. It's like whether they had to start really outdoing things because they'd already gone so far, or
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. Well, and the other thing I remembered, or in the beginning, I didn't understand, like it was a competition, but like I didn't understand that it was a competition because it's like, well, because it's like, oh, they win these tools. It's like, oh, they're not just
oh,
building it for
that
fun.
was Monster Garage, wasn't it? I think that was
Yeah, that was
Monster
Monster
Garage.
Garage, but it's like I didn't understand why they had to have some sort of prize. I guess that's they could get the people on to build it. It's like, okay, well, we'll give you a. But yeah, Monster House got absurd after a while. I can remember one that was like retro future house, and it was like all because the guy said, well, I kind of like the Jetsons. So then that's like the theme they went with.
Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of, because like the one I'm thinking of that kind of like, I don't want to say turned off the show for me, but was more like, okay, this is so fake or something, was they were like trying to set up the house so that it was kind of like space and had planets and
Yeah, that's it.
um
That's it. Because it was space themed. Nope, we're thinking of the same one. And I want to say it was called
and
like
it
Retro Future House. So it was kind of like 19 sci-fi sort of themed. At least
see, and I don't remember anything other than the house, other than it had like these planets and stars in it, and something about it, like, I don't know, something about it was just so like, this is so not done like great or very good.
well, that's the thing, you search on
and
the
and
internet
it kind
now and
of so it kind of ruined it for me.
well, that's kind of like the Pimp My Ride deal. I remember like Reddit threads or something run across them years ago of like, well, it's like I was on Pimp My Ride. Here's what really happened. It's like yeah, when I got my car back, it's like yeah, it looked real great. Like underneath, it's still rusted out. They just painted over stuff. They just like they make it half-hour show or not even half show, but it's like they literally only did take about they act like it happens a couple of days. Well, like sounds like Pimp My Ride. Yeah, literally they only worked on it a couple of days. They just made it look good enough for TV, and like sometimes the cars barely made them home. And
Well,
then
and
no
that's I
man,
think
then no mechanic would like
I
touch it
never
after that if they did too many customizations.
I uh I think that was something that maybe if it was on kinda caught, but I never really cared for the show because like you're talking about the microwave and stuff, like none of this stuff is like practical
No, no,
or
like some kid, hey, they
or
put a
anything.
hot,
And it's like
they put a hot tub in the back of this van like that, and
yeah, it's like um so it's like that kind of turned me off of that show.
yeah, well, and I never liked Exhibit, but honestly, again, I watched this kind of this kind of retrospective on it, whatever, and it's like looking at it now, it's like Exhibit, honestly, in his witty remarks, kind of the only reason to watch it now because it's like
Oh,
you could tell like he was just in it for the money. It's like, all right, back to West Coast Customs or whatever they did, and it was um and you could tell it's like, all right, I got paid now, so I'm gone,
yeah,
kind of deal. But well, and that's the other deals like the houses where any when they pull up stuff, it's like that's not even where the person lived, either. 'Cause some of them like lived in too good of neighborhoods, and they
yeah.
things like. I mean, I knew it was hokey when I was watching it, but you kind of suspended that disbelief.
I guess I was still. I was. That was kind of the thing where it's like I was young enough that and naive enough to still like think that they were really doing it, and then there's like, but I was smart enough to kind of catch on to it's like something ain't right here.
Well, and it's kind of like the earlier, like the dating contest shows they had, like Singled Out and
Yeah,
Remote Control and that kind of stuff. It's like all right, these aren't real. They aren't being real.
yeah,
Well, and then even like the Room Raiders and all that stuff was like, okay, you watched it again to see what they'd kind of plant or come up with or whatever, or occasionally to see maybe the one guy or gal on there that was kind of taking it seriously when the
mm,
others were playing it up because they realized it was a show. You'll get more screen time if you kind of play it up. The other one was Ribs. I mean, I didn't set my watch, but I would watch occasionally some of those. I mean,
I would watch.
I kind of
I would
wanted to
watch
see
those too.
the like I remember seeing Ricky Carmichael's when new, and some other like that. There now, what's funny is theirs looked less staged than the like the rappers or
Well, but
singers,
it
and those
it came
were
out. It came out that some of the yeah. It came out that some of those rappers were renting out mansions and cars to appear on the show.
yeah. Well, and that's why, and I can remember, and that the most notorious one was like I think it was Red Man or whatever. He just had some crap apartment. I mean, like that's literally where he lived, how he lived,
Yeah.
and just had like, well, like there was like some dude just sleeping on the floor when they come in, and then like he just had some crappy old TV and had his movie collection, and there it is, just a bunch of like porn DVDs and stuff too there. And like his fridge, was full of like, like hot pockets and junk food, where the other ones would have it full of whatever, whoever was kind of sponsoring Gatorade or some
Yeah.
liquid Cristal or whatever. It was supposed to be some you know proper heartthrob person, they'd have something else. Yeah, I mean, I don't distinctly remember too many other than Ricky Carmen, I guess. Distinctly remember his.
I remember the only one I really remember is Rob Zombies, and that was another one that wasn't staged. That's really his house.
Well, like Carmichael's, he had his bikes he wore championships on. I think it's something ridiculous, but would do other than that kind of. Well, Mario, but
Yeah, that was actually, but that was before college.
yeah, that
Those
was
those kind
yeah,
of
exactly.
shows.
That was, and they were in reruns, so I remember. Then there was the. Of course, we kind of talked about this. The actual headbangers.
Yeah. See, I never really watched that until the like the second iteration came out. Um, because I don't think what I watched, what I've talked about before, was Headbangers Ball. I think it was just like regular MTV music programming. Because they never played commercials that like this is the Headbangers Ball or
Yeah,
before they go to commercial break or anything. They just like they would just throw on commercials.
yeah. I do remember, Real World catching the early stuff, and then of course, I remember that was one that I definitely tried to catch every week. Had to see, and I
You
even
know,
watched it after I moved out here, and they did Denver, and I remember driving down there and taking pictures. And stuff. I probably still have,
yeah.
but it was definitely past its prime by the time they. I feel like that was like 2006 or maybe 2000, but it was definitely past its prime. Same with like
Um.
an MTV Spring Break, like just the physical acts stuff that they would televise. That was something
Mhm.
I catch. That was usually on during the daytime, so that was in classes
Yeah.
at that time.
I tried to catch some of it if I could.
But I don't even know
I
why I watched it, because it wasn't like, oh, wherever they'd be. I guess I just watched it because, well, it's aimed right at my generation. I guess.
Yeah. I always the only reason I ever wanted to watch it was just because I wanted to see the performers.
Yeah, that was a lot of it, because at that time, Kid Rock was big, and
Mm.
well, Rob, I think probably did a little bit there. Then
Well, yeah, Limp
those kind of
Bizkit, or
bands.
Probably Kid Rock, Limp Bizkit, and Corn more than anything.
Yeah, I remember them. That yeah, those specifically. That's why I'm King of the Hill fan. Uh, it isn't my favorite efforts. One of them up there is one where Hank takes mom and ladies, um, Port Aransas to uh, Texas. I guess a little island, party island type deal. But there's a museum, but they happen to go right during spring break, and it's animated though, but it's like MTV's Spring Break, and it's got Pauly Shore like MC, and they're playing like Rob Zombie and that kind of music. They get the like, or and there's and stuff, and they're staying at the same motel, and like it wakes Hank up, and he's like, "Where are your guys' parents and stuff?" And like the old ladies didn't hear a thing over the night. But anyway, they get stuck in the crowd because they're like there right before, and then all the spring breakers like move in, and and it's a whole thing. But it's just funny because they have the MTV tour bus, and um uh and just the music they're playing, and then it's like they're doing wet t-shirt contests and stuff, and you know MTV's there, and it makes me think, oh yeah, I remember watching those broadcasts. Even though this is like an animated show, it's like MTV's Spring Break 99. Yeah, because it was 99 when that episode came out. So, and I was an avid watcher of that show too, so very much hit the nail on the head kind
of. I think this is the last bit left.
I got a little bit over here by. Oh yeah,
well, that's what I'm.
You're right.
That's
there.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because I think I got
section.
behind the house. There was a little strip there. I think.
Yeah, and I just got the backside of this property. So this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of big, but so this is definitely going a lot quicker.
Oh yeah, definitely, because it's like, well, we'll call it a stream after this, but
yeah.
But yeah, this is definitely.
I'm gonna next time we play this map, because I think the reason why we're playing this tonight is because we were kind of both stuck in plowing on the other map, and I think I'm just gonna I'm trying to alternate it.
Yeah, and that's fine.
So the next time we play this one, we'll upgrade the wind rowers, because I didn't sell the ones we had. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I never really understood spring break until I got. Well, I mean, I was still in my 20s, but I never really understood spring break until after I was already out of college, because our college, we didn't have anything like that that way per se. We kind of did, but not the same exact way. And until I was working the Carney Liquor job, and those kids would take off for spring break. Some of those guys would.
Yeah.
And it's like I didn't quite understand what was going on till then.
Well, and it's funny. Going, hey, like it's funny. I didn't special spring break like everybody else.
Yeah.
Mexico skiing. Well, actually, if anything, that's what I did. Is I went.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but it wasn't like, part. I wasn't. I guess I never really saw it like that, I guess. But I just, I do remember people, classmates, whatever, coming back and.
Well, that's what I remember. Well, kind of. I remember like the leading up to it, like months leading up to it, like the kids I used to work with being like, oh, I gotta save every cent that I have from this job that I'm not spending on rent and food
Yeah.
so that I can go on spring break, and then of course then they take off the time, and um as like I guess maybe that's why I never really thought about it before, because like I never saw anybody actively participating so much, into it. I I guess technically I could have had it when I was in college because we had a semester break or a quarter break. I guess it technically, yeah, it was. We did quarters, we didn't do semesters. So we had a quarter break that would have been about right for spring break, but um, I don't ever remember any of my classmates or anybody in the other classes that I had that have been like, oh, I'm going down to Mexico for the
Well,
week or
and that's the
Florida
thing.
for
I
the
think
week
that's the
or
difference in like tech school. Just the environment just isn't like that because more it's more people that just want to get done with school so they can get working. And that's
yeah.
well, and that's sort of the idea behind it too. Is yeah, and that's why it, I definitely I could go to back to any time in my life. It'd be I was in college, yes, but that was the stark difference where I didn't always felt like I fit in some places because I kind of like it's just get done to or get started on life, which you know I definitely wasn't aching for her, but I was also kind of like get this graduating thing going, but
Speaking of that, like I got done with college, and uh I can distinctly remember. So I get my first job, get my apartment, I'm moved in, and like I start working and everything, and I can distinctly remember being like, okay, now what? Because like everything before that was like you said, it's like going to school. Okay, I got to get this done, and then I'll graduate, and then I'll
yeah,
be
you're
done, and I'll be
building it's
working,
building to something.
and and I was like, Now what do I do?"
Yeah. Well, yeah. Um I mean, sometimes I do at times think it's like did I've stopped to smell the roses a little bit more while I was in college, but I felt I enjoyed it. I lived in the moment, knew this was pretty good right now, and like, for some reason I knew it's like okay, I'm never going to be able to do this kind of thing again. Let's and there's other things I could have done, but like times I wish maybe I should have got active in that thing. I don't know. Doing what we did and got to hang out too and that stuff. And for some reason, I knew it's like these are going to be about the best years, kind of thing. But I was also kind of yeah, let's get going because while I wanted to end up where I'm at or out here, I didn't exactly know how I was going to get there because I almost out to do an internship. I almost was probably live in Grand Island for it that
Mhm.
done. But that place didn't. Oh, I interviewed around Carney. I was gonna kind of stick around there for a little bit, thinking just get my, get internship and that kind of stuff done, and then long. But happened. Yeah, I don't know. I just exactly plan it, but guess I just got lucky. Right.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I just like because I remember high school. You know, you're picking out your college and everything, and this is what I'm gonna do, and this is how I'm gonna do it, and everything. And then you go to college, and like I really never at that time didn't have a plan beyond that. I was like, what am I gonna do? It was like I could distinctly remember just being like, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah.
It's like I don't know what to do because I'm like now I'm done with college um and then little did I know that meant basically that's when real life, good or bad, really began.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I guess back, I'm like, how did I figure out what I figured out? I guess that's the thing I look back on is like, how did I figure out what I figured out? Because I could have just not found a very good job and just been miserable and bounce around. And
Mm-hmm.
oh, granted, there's things I probably could have been a little bit more ambitious on or whatever, but also it's like, yeah, opportunities they presented themselves. They saw what I was doing and so like I said, I've had a recent change in that, and it's been a adjustment, but um, I'm liking it. It's like, yeah, I guess because I guess that was the thing is also I didn't know if it was going to be a thing, be able to, I'm going to be able to at a thing, and for our generation where you work, 40 years at the but I didn't know if that would be a thing. Like, oh yeah, I work for the same company basically for years. Well, 20 years in, so maybe.
Yeah.
uh, you know, but yeah, like I said, I wasn't anxious to get out of college, but also I wasn't like in Son-in-Law where it's like, how long have you been here? It's like 6 years, or Van Wilder or whatever. Pick your movie, you know. That'd be too long. Because I couldn't. That's the thing. I couldn't see trying to put it in be like that in my late 20s.
Yeah.
It'd be weird. Yes. Yeah. I do think about college stuff. Well, actually, when I get to go back there, liaison, I look around as like, and I look at these kids and it's like, and like the ones out of the program, they're obviously they are driven and they have a decent idea what they want to do. Just you're just seeing all the other ones like man, you don't even know what you're. They're just and but that's the thing. I would have looked like the same thing. Like they got their whole life ahead of them and they don't even know. They're just here worrying about their next meal. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
What they're gonna
Yeah.
eat at the cafeteria or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's the thing that was a real, yeah, like you said, you got out, you got your apartment. There's like, okay, yeah, now what? Take care of myself, but yeah, after that, just go to work for every day.
Well, I just like I can remember that, and then I was like, that's kind of also where I kind of started trying things like the RC cars and
Right.
and the and the guitar. I mean, granted, the RC kind of started while I was in college, but that's where I kind of like just tried things and tried to see what stuck and what didn't stick. And
Yeah. Yeah,
but anyways, I think that's a good note to end the stream on.
yep, it is, because I was gonna say that's about what I was thinking too. It's like, well, yeah, want to hear more next time, you know.
So
But
I'm gonna end
all right,
mine here.
yep,
So.
I'm gonna shut her down.